The therapy room was warm and bright, decorated with a small plant in the corner and a poster that read, "You are safe here." But the patient's tone in front of Dr. Lena Ward seemed to contradict all that comfort. Maya, a young woman with tangled curly hair, kept scratching her hand incessantly. Her breathing was labored. "I saw him again, doctor," Maya said, her voice cracking. "He's always there, watching." Lena leaned in slightly, trying to smile gently. "Who are you talking about, Maya?" I don't know his name, but that look," Maya sobbed. "A look that said, if I open my mouth, I'll die." Lena jotted something down in her small notebook. Her hand was steady, but her eyes betrayed the anxiety she was hiding. "You're safe now," Lena said quietly. "No one will hurt you here." Maya looked at her with wet, frightened eyes. "Are you sure?" A sharp silence hung in the air. A light drizzle falls, thin and persistent. The distant sound of passing cars hums through the night. Lena walks toward her car, one hand gripping her umbrella. Under a street lamp, a figure stands, motionless. Not approaching, not hiding, just watching the building where Lena works. She stops. Her heartbeat quickens. The figure takes a single step back, then dissolves into the darkness. Lena shakes off the unease tightening in her chest and gets into her car. But the discomfort does not come with her. Lena's apartment is neat, too neat, as if no one truly lives there. She heats a cup of tea, trying to steady her thoughts. The soft trickle of boiling water fills the room, until a faint whisper drifts from the bathroom. Lena freezes. Her eyes lock onto the bathroom door, slightly ajar. The light inside is on, though she is certain she turned it off that morning. Slowly, she steps closer and pushes the door fully open. Empty. Only damp steam lingers, a small faucet dripping quietly. Lena closes her eyes and takes a long breath. "Just tired," she murmurs. But then her gaze shifts to a photograph on the vanity. A picture of herself as a child. The girl in the photo looks like she's holding back tears, forcing her lips into a "I'm fine" smile. And for the first time that night, Lena wonders whether she is truly safe. Sirens wail in front of the therapy building. Police tape stretches across the entrance, bright yellow under flashing lights. Paramedics lift a body bag into the waiting ambulance. Lena stops just beyond the barrier, her face drained of color. The body is Maya's. The woman who was trembling with fear just hours ago is now stiff and silent. "Dr. Ward?" A middle-aged man approaches. His badge marks him as a detective. His eyes are sharp, measuring. "I'm Detective Avery Miles," he says. "We need to talk." Lena sits on a metal chair. Her hands are tightly folded in her lap, as if her body needs constant proof that she is still anchored in the real world. Miles slides a file across the table toward her. Inside are photographs of 4 patients, every face painfully familiar. "4 of your patients," Miles says, "all dead, and all showing the same trauma pattern." Lena shakes her head slowly. "That's just a tragic coincidence. There are no coincidences at this scale, Doctor." Miles narrows his eyes. "The question is, why are only your patients dying?" Lena suddenly struggles to breathe. After the interrogation, Lena returns to her office alone. She straightens her notes, forcing herself to focus on work. The therapy room door cracks open. Lena turns sharply. A young man stands there, Elias Gray. His hair is wet, his jacket worn and damp, his face drained of color. I need help, he says quietly. Lena stiffens. You can't just walk in. Please, Elias cuts in. They're killing everyone who talks. And now, it's my turn. Lena studies him more closely. There's something in his eyes, the same terror she saw in Maya. Do you know Maya? She asks. Elias lets out a hollow smile. We all knew each other, until one by one, we disappeared. A chill runs through Lena, straight to the bone. Elias sits restlessly, his hands clenched. His voice trembles, but his words are firm. I'm not the first one who came to you, he says, and I don't want to be the last. You're afraid they'll kill you? Lena asks. I'm afraid of being forgotten. Elias looks straight into Lena's eyes. Like they want us silent, even inside our own minds. Lena digs her fingernails into her palm, grounding herself, forcing herself to stay present. What do they want? She asks. Us, Elias answers. Since we were children. Lena is left staring at him, stunned. After Elias leaves, Lena shuts the door tightly, then locks it twice. She opens the police file Detective Miles handed her earlier. Each photo of the victims seems to stare back at her, hollow, broken, drained of hope. Then, there is an extra photograph slipped between the pages. A CCTV still. Lena standing in front of Maya's apartment building on the night Maya died. I was never there, Lena whispers, her breath catching. But that isn't what freezes her blood. In the background of the image, a shadow stands directly behind her, its head lowered, clothes soaked, the face blurred, but unmistakably similar to Elias. The room lights flicker once, then go dark. Darkness floods the therapy room. Only Lena's uneven breathing can be heard in the void. Her phone is still lit in her hand, the threatening message glaring on the screen. You're next. She forces her body to move. The emergency lights in the hallway flicker on, casting a dim red glow that makes the shadows on the walls look like shifting figures. Lena reaches into the desk drawer, searching for something, anything that could be used as a weapon. Scissors, maybe. Anything at all. But before she can find it, a soft knocking comes from the other side of the therapy room door. The rhythm is slow, deliberate, as if whoever is knocking is savoring every tap. Lena holds her breath. She can't scream. She can't move. With trembling hands, she slowly backs toward the wall. The knocking stops. Silence. For 2 seconds that feel like an eternity. Then, the doorknob turns. Lena freezes. The lights suddenly flicker back on. The door opens slowly, revealing a face she never expected to see. Detective Miles. Are you okay? Miles asks, his expression serious, but clearly concerned. Lena exhales a shaky breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. I got a message. Someone was here. Miles scans the room quickly, his hand ready near his gun. There's no one there. It's just you, Doctor, he says finally. No. Lena shakes her head hard. I felt it. Someone. Miles looks at her closely, as if weighing whether her fear is real or the aftermath of too much trauma. I'll walk you home, Miles says at last. It's not safe for you to stay here. The door opens. Lena steps inside first, while Miles scans the apartment carefully before allowing himself to leave. Just before he goes, he speaks quietly. I know this is a lot, he says, but you need to be honest with me if there's anything you're hiding about your patients." Lena says nothing. She doesn't know which answer would be the right one. Miles waits a moment, then turns and leaves. The door closes. Silence rushes in immediately. Lena leans back against the wall, her knees trembling as everything finally catches up to her. In the quiet corner of the apartment, she notices Maya's notebook still tucked inside the therapy bag she brought home. Hesitantly, Lena opens it. Maya's handwriting trembles, the ink scratched harshly across the page. "We must not remember. If you remember, they will come. I saw the child. He was standing behind the doctor." Lena drops the notebook. Her face drains of all color. "The child," she whispers. Fragments of memory flash back, disjointed, violent. A long white corridor, a baby crying, blinding surgical lights, her own sobbing voice. She clutches her head as pain splits through her thoughts. "Who," she gasps, "who was I before?" Miles returns to his car, but for some reason his gaze drifts upward, to the rooftop of the building. Someone is standing there, still, silent, looking up toward Lena's apartment. Miles narrows his eyes. The figure looks like Elias. Before Miles can react, the figure steps back and disappears behind the edge of the roof. Miles mutters a quiet curse. This isn't just a suicide case anymore. He starts the engine and drives away, his mind heavy with questions that refuse to settle. The rain is pouring now. Lena is asleep, or at least forcing herself to be. The room is dark except for the dull glow of a street lamp leaking through the curtains. Then a small sound cuts through the silence, like a child running on the floor above. Lena opens her eyes. No, just an old building, probably a neighbor. But the sound grows clearer, closer, as if it's coming from the next room. Lena slowly sits up and opens her bedroom door to check. The apartment hallway is dark and still, empty. As she turns back toward her room, the closet door in the living area, by itself. Lena freezes. From the darkness inside the closet, a small child steps out. About 7 years old. His hair is soaked, as if he's been standing in the rain. His face is pale, scratched. He looks directly at Lena. The child's eyes are empty, but his lips move, forming words without a sound. "Remember me." The lights flicker, and the child is gone. Only the closet remains open. Lena stands frozen, her breath caught in her chest. Trembling, she steps closer to the closet. On the inside of the door, carved as if by fingernails, is a single name. Lena. Her hand drops to her side. Her eyes widen in terror. "Why does he know my name?" she whispers. Her phone vibrates again. Another message. Not a threat, just a set of coordinates she doesn't recognize. Then a second message appears. Elias is waiting. Lena stares at her phone for a long moment, until the sound of rain outside becomes louder than her own breathing. The coordinates are still there. A small red dot pulsing softly, as if calling her closer. She knows going to that location alone is a terrible decision, but worse than that is staying still and waiting for something to come for her. Lena grabs her coat, tightens her grip around her phone, and steps out into the cold night. The car moves slowly, cutting through the curtain of rain and fog. The GPS shows she's getting closer to the coordinates. The area she enters looks old, almost like a town forgotten by time. Darkened windows, rusted shop signs, streetlights flickering like dying heartbeats. What makes her skin crawl the most, there isn't a single person outside. No pedestrians, no other cars. The GPS finally speaks. You have arrived. Lena parks in front of a large, worn-down building. Its walls are gray concrete, peeling in places. Above the entrance hangs a broken sign barely clinging to its frame. St. Helen's Children Care. An orphanage. The name echoes inside Lena's head like a nightmare suddenly remembered. Elias stands beneath a black umbrella, waiting. When he sees Lena, a faint smile touches his lips. "Thank you for coming," he says. Lena stares at the building without blinking. "Why did you bring me here?" Elias looks at her with something close to pity. "Because this is where everything began." Lena feels her heart push back against the truth. I've never been here," she whispers. Elias steps closer. "You don't remember. We were made to forget." The rain feels colder now. They step inside. Lena switches on her phone's flashlight. A thick layer of dust blankets the floor, yet small footprints cut through it, fresh. Lena swallows. "Someone else is here," she says. Elias answers quietly. "Always." They move past faded posters of smiling children, the images painfully ironic now. Some rooms still hold rusted children's beds, eyeless dolls, and words scratched into the walls. "Pain means we're alive." "Don't look at the cameras. We're not allowed to talk about the experiments." Lena presses a hand against the wall to keep herself from collapsing. The word experiments slams into her mind like a hammer. "Why does it feel like I've read this before?" she whispers. Elias exhales, his breath trembling. "You didn't just read it. You lived it." Elias forces open a dusty filing cabinet. He pulls out a single folder, the writing faded but still legible. Ward, Lena, Subject 7. Lena freezes. Her hand reaches out slowly, touching the paper as if it were a doorway to a past far darker than she ever imagined. "I'm a subject?" she whispers. "Yes," Elias answers, his voice breaking. "All of us were subjects. 4 are already dead. Me, I don't know how long I have." Lena begins to tremble. Fragments of memory surface. Herself as a child, crying on a metal bed. Doctors scribbling notes. A needle piercing skin. Another child's voice screaming her name. "Lena, don't fall asleep!" Her legs give out. Elias catches her just in time. "You're not supposed to remember this fast," he says in panic. "They can feel it when you do." They enter a playroom, long since rotted by time. A small swing hangs from the ceiling, creaking softly as the wind passes through broken windows. Suddenly, a doll in the corner falls on its own. Lena narrows her eyes. On the floor, she sees something. An old crayon drawing, drawn by a child's hand. 7 children stand in a line. Behind them, a tall, faceless figure. One child is crossed out in red, and the child standing at the far right? Her hair is the same as Lena's in the childhood photo. Beneath the drawing, shaky letters read, "The last one must remember everything." At once, the sound of footsteps echoes from a distant hallway. Fast, getting closer. Elias grabs Lena's hand. They found us. They run through a long corridor. Old lights flicker on and off, as if guiding them, then deliberately misleading them. More footsteps join the chase, not just one. Lena glances back. At the far end of the hallway, shadows move fast, tall and wrong in the way they run. "Who are they?" she shouts. Elias answers between ragged breaths. "The wardens. They make sure there are no witnesses." Lena stumbles. Elias yanks her back upright. The exit is right there, but just as they're about to reach it, the tall figure appears directly in front of the door. Faceless, soundless, its presence crushes the air from the room. Lena screams. Something slams hard into the figure's face. A large flashlight flies like a bullet. The figure staggers. Detective Miles steps out from behind a pillar, gun raised and steady. "Move one more muscle," he snaps, "and I shoot." Elias doesn't waste the moment. He grabs Lena and pulls her out into the rain. Miles follows, making sure the door is locked from the outside. The three of them stand there, gasping for air in the cold night. Lena stares at Miles, shock mixing with relief. You followed me?" Miles raises an eyebrow. "I'm a detective. Kind of my job, Doctor." Elias watches Miles with suspicion, but says nothing. Then, from behind the metal door, a light knock sounds. Not loud, not forceful. Slow, deliberate, unsettling. As if whatever is inside is quietly saying, "You're not finished yet." Miles quickly pulls Lena and Elias away from the iron door. Lena is still gasping for air, her chest rising and falling too fast, her body unsteady between two men who are equally tense. "We need to get out of here," Miles hisses. "This place isn't an abandoned orphanage like you thought, Doctor." Lena looks back at the grim building, St. Helen's Children Care, a place where the shadows of her past seem to watch from every corner. A flash of memory surges through her. She is hiding under a small bed, the sound of adult footsteps. A child's scream, cut off abruptly. Lena clamps a hand over her mouth, fighting the urge to vomit. "I've been here before," she whispers, barely audible. Elias looks at her with a mix of empathy and fear. "I know." The police car speeds away from the building. Rain lashes against the windshield like thousands of tiny needles. Miles breaks the silence. "I've been watching that place for a long time," he says. "But every time I get close, evidence disappears. Witnesses die. Records get erased." Lena swallows hard. "So you believe me, that I'm not the one behind this?" Miles glances at her briefly through the rearview mirror. "I believe you're one of the victims." Elias speaks softly, but his voice is sharp. "We all are." The three of them sit together. Miles switches on a recorder. "Tell me everything," he says to Elias. Elias takes a long breath. All the fear he has buried is finally forced to the surface. "We weren't orphans," he says. "We were taken, chosen." Lena narrows her eyes, her body going rigid. "For what?" Miles asks. Elias stares at the ceiling, as if searching for the safest words for the most horrifying truth. "They were conducting research on memory manipulation and trauma-based control," he continues, his voice trembling. "The greater the fear, the stronger the effect on the brain. We were shaped to become perfect witnesses and perfect victims." Lena rubs her face, now completely drained of color. I don't know anything about this, she says. Elias looks at her with quiet pity. That was the point. They wanted you to forget until everything was finished. Miles opens a desk drawer and takes out several crime scene photos from the previous victims. Elias stares at them, faces he once called friends. There's one thing they all have in common, Miles says, pointing to the same spot on each body. Lena steps closer, then covers her mouth in shock. There is a small mark, like a needle puncture, just beneath the hairline on every neck. Elias nods slowly. Every time they pull those memories out, someone dies. Lena instinctively touches her own neck and feels it. A faint mark beneath her skin, invisible to the eye, but unmistakable now. We have to expose all of this, Miles says firmly. Elias looks at him like someone who has seen hell and knows its doors are still wide open. That means, he says quietly, we have to go back inside. Miles decides to keep Lena and Elias at the precinct overnight, for their safety. But Lena wakes up. Another nightmare. Children's voices. They're crying. A metal door slamming shut. Surgical lights blazing overhead. And a doctor's voice. One more for testing. Lena jolts upright, cold sweat clinging to her skin. She steps into the empty hallway of the office, the silence pressing in around her. Then, inside the glass-walled room to her left, the CCTV monitors flicker to life. Every screen shows the same thing, the orphanage corridors. One camera focuses on the playroom. The small swing moves on its own. And at the center monitor, the rain-soaked child appears, standing still, staring straight into the camera, staring at Lena. The child's lips move, no sound, just a warning. Don't trust anyone. All the monitors shut off at once. Darkness. Miles finds Lena standing frozen in front of the darkened CCTV screens. I saw him again, Lena says quietly. The child. Miles keeps his voice steady, professional. I'll have a technician check the system tomorrow. No, Lena snaps. Her eyes shine, tears threatening to spill. We don't have until tomorrow. Miles studies her, sharp, conflicted. You know what this means, don't you? Lena says, her voice shaking but clear. We have to go back there. Elias appears in the doorway. He has heard everything. If we don't go back, Elias says softly, everyone who died for nothing. Lena wipes her tears away. Fear hardens into resolve. I won't be the last witness they silence. Miles exhales, weighing the risk he's about to take. Finally, he grabs his jacket and car keys. If we're going back to hell, he says, we'd better be ready to bring proof out with us. Elias grips Lena's arm, not to stop her, just to make sure she's still standing. This time, he says, we fight back. The three of them head for the exit, ready to face a truth that could kill them. Outside, the rain is still falling, as if the world itself is mourning what they are about to uncover. Miles drives with razor-sharp focus through the darkness of the night. In the passenger seat, Lena clenches her own hands, cold, damp, trembling. Elias sits in the back, his eyes constantly tracking the windows as if something might appear at any moment. No one speaks, because no words could calm the fear that has already seeped deep into their bones. At last, the GPS speaks. You have arrived. The old building looks even darker now, as if it knows they didn't return as victims, but as rebels. And that was their first mistake, because this building likes it when its victims come back. Miles readies his pistol. "Stay behind me," he says. "Whatever happens, don't look away." Elias, "They don't like light. Keep anything that shines turned on." Lena grips her phone flashlight tightly, as if it's the only thing keeping her grounded in reality. The old wooden door as it opens. Damp, cold air spills out, welcoming them inside. And Lena feels it, as if this place knows her name. The footsteps echo softly. The corridor stretches on, far longer than it should be. The walls are covered with fresh scrawls in dark ink. "Don't remember. Those who know will die. You've gone too far. Turn back before it's too late." Suddenly, the door at the far end of the corridor slams shut on its own. Bang! Lena recoils. Miles immediately raises his gun. "This place is full of tricks," Elias warns quietly. "It feeds on our trauma." A chill runs through Lena, all the way to her bones. Elias leads the way, searching for a specific room. He stops in front of an office door with a rusted plaque that reads, "Director's Office." "This is where we start," Elias says. Miles slowly pushes the door open. An old desk dominates the room, covered in stacks of files and worn notebooks. Photographs of children line the walls. Every face wears the same false smile. Lena picks up one photo. A little girl with hair she knows all too well. Herself. On the back of the photo, a short note is written. "Subject number 7. Most promising trauma response. High amnesia rate. Suitable for final stage." Lena closes her eyes, her chest tightening as she struggles to breathe. "I wasn't Maya's traumatized patient," she says, her voice breaking. "I was traumatized long before all of those patients." Elias gently places a hand on her shoulder. "I was in the room next door," he says softly. "I heard you screaming back then." Lena turns to him sharply. "You knew me when we were children?" Elias nods. "We protected each other." Lena's tears fall before she even realizes she's crying. Miles discovers an old cassette player. Beside it lies a small stack of tapes, each carefully labeled. Session 7. Ward, Lena. Lena pulls back as Miles reaches for it. "Don't," she whispers. "I'm scared." Miles looks at her steadily. The truth won't stop chasing us just because we close our eyes. He presses play. The recording crackles to life. A child's crying. "I don't want to anymore." "You will forget this pain. That's part of the process." A short, piercing scream, then silence. Subject number 7. Fear levels remain highly stable. Continue dosage tomorrow. The tape clicks off. Lena clutches her head, her body shaking violently. "Please, stop," she sobs. "I remember how it felt." The lights flicker. Miles snaps instantly into alert mode. Elias pulls Lena closer to him. Heavy footsteps echo from the corridor outside. Elias, "That's a guardian. They can sense when memories awaken." Miles quickly ushers them behind a massive filing cabinet. The space is tight and pitch black, nothing but the sound of their breathing and pounding hearts. The door creaks open. Lena's phone flashlight dims, flickering, barely alive. A tall figure steps inside. Its footsteps are heavy, its movements unnatural. No face, only smooth, pale skin stretched blank like empty fabric. It inhales the air, as if smelling for memory itself. Lena clamps both hands over her mouth. Her body goes rigid. The flashlight dies completely. Darkness. Miles's finger tightens on the trigger. Still, waiting for the exact moment. The figure stops directly in front of the cabinet. Its long arm stretches toward the door. The power suddenly surges back on. The figure turns toward a sound in another corridor. Someone is running. Footsteps pound down the hallway. The guardian pivots and rushes after the noise. Miles. There's someone else here. Elias shakes his head. No, that wasn't another person. Lena, her voice trembling. It was the child. He helped us.
They step out from behind the cabinet. Miles points to a half-destroyed building map bolted to the wall. At the very bottom, one room is circled in faded red. Archive. Memory Data Center. Elias swallows hard.
That's where all the experiment records are kept.
Lena nods. Her face still pale, but her eyes burn with a new resolve.
We take everything. Her voice is stronger now. And we expose whoever created this hell.
Miles slips Lena's cassette into his jacket pocket. If we make it out alive, this will be the beginning of justice. The three of them prepare to descend underground. But just as they step onto the dark staircase, bam! The door behind them slams shut. And from somewhere far away, children's voices begin to sing. Soft, out of sync, broken, like a damaged tape looping endlessly.
Only one left. Only one left. Who must remember. Remember everything.
Lena's face drains of color. That song is part of her worst memory, the one she buried deep inside her mind. She stares down the staircase leading underground. That's where the answers are. And that's where disaster is waiting.